Hi, I'm Shawver, Head of Knowledge here at TaxGPT. We believe you can get the most value out of TaxGPT when you use it to recreate end-to-end workflows. Today we're going to show you how to do just that. Let's dive in. One beneficial use case for TaxGPT is to take research and then turn it into written work product. Today we're going to look at how TaxGPT can ingest an IRS notice and then produce a polished appeals request to dispute the IRS's determination. As you can see, this is denying a deduction for the 2022 tax year. And in the body of the letter, it prompts me to submit an IRS appeals request if I disagree. So we're going to plug this into TaxGPT and see what happens. Once I navigate into TaxGPT Research, I can upload the notice through the paperclip button here, type in my prompt in the chat box here, and hit submit. I've done that with this letter 106C. And as you can see, I've included a very detailed prompt here that follows the site framework. In the body of this prompt, I've included the specific factual scenario that is relevant to my client's tax situation, and I've prompted TaxGPT to follow the specific instructions within page 2 of the letter. Once I hit submit, TaxGPT will generate this thumbnail here that I can open up and see the body of the letter. TaxGPT has created a complete first draft of this letter from the top, where it details information about my client, the tax year, as well as the correspondence received from the IRS. Since the amount in dispute here is more than $25,000, we need to indicate that this is a formal protest and that my client is appealing the IRS's disallowance. This has been done in the first paragraph of the letter. Next, the letter indicates my client's disagreement with the IRS's decision and then provides a detailed factual summary of the situation so that the IRS can understand the details of what happened during the audit. Next, TaxGPT goes into an analysis of the applicable law and applies it to my client's facts. TaxGPT also notes that we will be attaching relevant supporting documentation for the IRS to consider in the appeals process. Last but not least, the letter 106C requires us to include a declaration under penalty of perjury, which I, as the submitting tax professional, will sign. Within TaxGPT, this window here allows me to edit this document just like I would in a word processor. So I can add text or remove text as if I were working in a Word document. TaxGPT also gives me the option to adjust the length of the letter, and if I make changes, it will provide suggestions to make the letter even stronger. As you can see over here on the right, I have the option to apply these changes, and they will be immediately generated into the letter. Now, if I want to make more wholesale changes to what TaxGPT has generated here, I can use the chat box over here on the left and prompt it to make specific changes. Once I'm finished, to complete this process, I can exit the document window here, and I can prompt TaxGPT by selecting Writer to draft an email to my client explaining what I've done and that I've submitted this appeals protest to the IRS. This is one of the many examples of end-to-end workflows you can complete with TaxGPT. Be on the lookout for additional examples of prompt guides that we'll be putting out in the future. Thanks for watching.